Well, hello and welcome to the stand up. If you guys don't know what the stand up is where we gather together and we come here to talk about, some important issues, mainly centered around the questions of what are we what have we accomplished? What are we working on? And what is holding us back? I appreciate you guys joining me tonight before my Doom live stream that I'm going to be doing. Tonight we're probably going to be getting a boomstick, and we've already got a chainsaw, and so we're going to ash it up in the Mars UAC facility that we're tearing ass through. So please hit the link down below. I will be playing the Doom campaign on Nightmare mode, and I hope that you'll join me for that. But first, that's not first, Oklahoma. Good old Oklahoma. Normally where the winds go sweeping down the plains, but today the winds are really just knocking off your IQ points. And apparently that's pretty much what has happened over in Oklahoma in general, especially for the wonderful person there, the governor, not to mention all of the politicians there. I'd like to say hello to Godless lesbian Wesley Carlson, who I met at the YouTube Creator Day. If you're in the chat right now and you're not subscribed to Wesley, definitely go and subscribe to him. He's a fairly new atheist in the community, and we just need to give him a warm welcome. We've also got the Spider Pig, and as always, the Default, along with Pancakes. In the comments tonight, those are who's there. And but Oklahoma, they're not playing with all the sharp tools in the shed. Or they're not the sharpest tool in the shed as far as the United States goes. You shouldn't play with sharp tools to begin with. But if you guys don't know, earlier this week, pretty much Oklahoma House, the House and the Senate, they passed this bill to ban all abortions. Except in these cases, in very specific cases, which apparently were vague as shit. But the reason why they voted for this is because they were hoping that this would clear the way to basically invalidate Roe v. Wade, which is a totally ridiculous measure. Roe v. Wade is a Supreme Court case, and in order to override it, basically, there's one of two possible actions that they could take. One would be getting 3/4 of all the states to amend the Constitution through the normal processes, or the Supreme Court can overrule itself. Now, considering the state of the Supreme Court right now, that's not going to happen. So basically, Oklahoma was passing this law in hopes that they would overturn Roe v. Wade, but it would only, what it would end up doing would be providing a big black hole as far as women's health goes in Oklahoma. And so if you're worried about Oklahoma caring about its citizens, I can assure you the Oklahoma government, the state government over there, and even your local governments over there, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about the people that they govern. If they did give a shit, then they wouldn't be trying to ban abortions. Abortions are very much needed. It's been shown that if you take away abortions or make abortion unacceptable, people will just resort to, let's just say, less than medical ways of taking care of the issue. If you can imagine that. That always reminds me of this one scene from Family Guy where it's like the first abortion clinic in America, and all it was stairs leading up to nowhere, and then the women just fell and landed on their stomachs, and then boom, they're not pregnant anymore because the fetus basically got squished and died. But that's a rather crude way of putting it, and still funny as shit. But anyways, So if you take away abortions, Oklahoma, like if you try this measure again, because it did get vetoed by the governor for the dumbest fucking reason, but if you were to try this again, I can assure you, you're going to end up having women that are going to die because they took some kind of weird Mexican drug in order to kill the friggin' parasite that's growing inside them, and they don't want it. Instead of giving them access to proper medical procedures, proper medical equipment, proper doctors, they're going to end up buying shit from like Mexico that's not FDA approved, that's more than likely going to kill them. So there you go, Oklahoma. Now, obviously, it was pretty ridiculous of them to try to pass in the first place, but what's even a bit more ridiculous is the reason why the governor vetoed it. It wasn't because the governor's a woman and she's like, are you guys dumb as fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you people? It's not because of that. No, it's because of the vagueness of the wording of the friggin' bill. I can't believe that the vagueness of the wording is what actually stopped the bill, but holy fuck, if that's not what stopped it, I'm a little afraid, honestly, that they're going to come back with a revised version of the bill that, caters to what the fuck ever this governor thinks isn't vague, and they're actually going to pass it, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of Oklahoma women that are going to be dying because they're taking some kind of weird drug in order to kill the fetus inside them because either they got raped by their dad or they got raped in general. I understand that there are some women out there that like to use abortion as like contraception, but you're kind of dumb as fuck if you do that. I mean, use a condom. Well, fuck, you're in Oklahoma. You're probably not being taught how to use condoms, or you're like Mississippi, where they don't even want to say the words penis, vagina, or even do any kind of demonstration that centers around that. No. You do shit on feet. You're going to give your entire state a foot fetish because apparently saying penis and vagina is too much, but if you talk about putting on a condom like you're putting on a sock, that's completely fine, you know. But anyways, so yeah, they there was actually some people in the state Senate and the House that were of sound mind. One particular senator, Irvin Yen, who is the sole physician actually that was elected to office in their Senate, said that the measure was insane. I would go one step further and say it's fucking insane. But anyways, that's still under, what have we accomplished? Because, Oklahoma is not banning abortion, which would only open them up to the legalities of it. Roe v. Wade would not uphold the law. Like, Roe v. Wade wouldn't be struck down because of the law. More than likely, the law would get off the books or be struck from the books because it violates Roe v. Wade and it violates how our legal system is actually set up. So I think that the state Senate and the House of Representatives in Oklahoma, I think that they're probably going to keep trying this. They're probably going to keep wasting people's money. They're going to keep wasting taxpayers' money. And it's eventually going to turn into what happened down in Louisiana. In Louisiana, they actually had a bill that was actually geared towards protecting young women in strip clubs. Like, they wanted to raise the age from 18 to 21 because a lot of young girls get into these strip clubs and get taken advantage of, sometimes even assaulted and whatnot. And so they had the logic of, there's alcohol being served there. You got to be 21 to drink alcohol. You got to be 21 to strip, basically. But they ended up turning it into basically a vetting process for who they want as their own personal strippers. This one guy, he said that he didn't want any stripper to be above 28 and to be less than 160 pounds. And it was pretty obvious that the guy frequented Jimmy's down the street where he likes 2 for Tuesdays. So let's let's move on to the next one. Jesus on the hill with the Constitution. Woo! You know, we passed their Religious Freedom Restoration Act, and Jesus, he got back up on that hill holding that Constitution. It was like Judeo-Christian motherfuckers, is what he said. And but the FFRF is welcoming a Do No Harm Act to amend the RFRA. The reason why it needs to be amended is because the current act is being used to target people of as a weapon against their liberty rather than as a shield to protect religious freedom. Let's see, the RFRA has been invoked to undermine the Civil Rights Act, which is pretty prominent. If you just look at the news in general. Yeah, Peachy, you did. Sorry, you can back up. It's got like DVR kind of shit if you want to go back and hear what I said. But yeah, so the Do No Harm Act, basically what it does is it allows the RFRA to still be on the books, but not be used as a weapon to, hurt our civil liberties and whatnot, which the current RFRA still need. So the RFRA right now is being used as a weapon, and it's used to discriminate against various peoples and minorities. Kronos Dark says, thanks to the DNC being dicks, I may switch to the Green Party after this election. Yeah, I know how you feel on that one. But I think that is very important because we've been seeing these RFRA acts and laws and whatnot crop up. Normally they're trying to protect religious freedom, but then again, what these people really think is religious freedom really isn't religious freedom. It's not religious freedom at all, and it's quite sad the fact that they are trying so hard to be able to discriminate and to be able to pretty much roll back the Civil Rights Act and be able to discriminate openly against such minority groups. I really do believe that the civil rights leaders in the 1950s and 60s, they'd be rolling over in their graves right now, if that were actually a thing. They'd be rolling over in their graves over what these religious people are doing. See, what's happening is that they're losing their religious privilege. And in America, there has been a pretty prevalent religious privilege that's been given to the Christians of America. And, these people are really floundering right now because they're losing that privilege. That's why we have that bullshit law that was passed in Mississippi that really proved to us that they're all retards out there. Of course, there's Oklahoma and Indiana, Texas in general. That's just one big fucking hole of like if you could imagine the shape of a black hole that's used to suck up IQ points, it would be in the shape of Texas. Oh yeah, North Carolina. Thank you there, Wesley. North Carolina is definitely one of those. Like if you could imagine a black hole that sucked up bigotry and idiocy, that would be in the shape of North Carolina. But I really hope that this Do No Harm Act passes and it gets in there, because it'll put the religious privilege it'll put the religious privilege that's really been given to them via this religious freedom restoration act. So yeah. The last thing that we have on our sort of docket tonight is apparently for a few decades a Christian surgeon was making his way through some foreign countries. I think it was Bangladesh, and he was raping people, raping women and little girls. I think it's really sad. that these things are allowed to go on for years and years and years. It really is a sad thing, because we see this same thing over here stateside rather than on these mission trips and whatnot to like Bangladesh. Of course, there was that one Christian kid. When was it? It was like earlier this year and early last year, who was convicted of molesting little kids on his mission trip. And see, the problem is that these are positions of power. These people are given positions of power, and they wholly take advantage of these positions of power. This particular surgeon here, he would inspect little girls like as early as 9. Like he would inspect their breasts for what seemed like forever. It's kind of one of those situations where take a picture, it'll last longer. But I'm pretty sure that the girls didn't want him to take pictures of them. But he would violate missionaries that were stationed there. He'd be overly flirtatious with them. He would, and then eventually, he would perform unnecessary pelvic exams on them. He would have extramarital affairs, and whatnot. Which being from a Baptist, I think a Baptist ministry, and apparently he had his wife there with him too. But anyways, it's just, you see this stateside. You see, like in Pennsylvania, there was that archdiocese that had more pedophiles in the archdiocese than there were in the Spotlight case over in Wisconsin. There are so many places in America that are circulating these pedophiles, and it's mostly because you have people that are in these congregations that think that, oh, well, he's talking about it with God. They bro-fist every night, and so they're going to, God's setting them straight. God, he's going to be okay. God's setting them straight. I'll see you later there, Spider Pig. Welcome, Lou. I saw you a little bit earlier. Peachy. It's good to have you here. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. This is holding us back as a society, because we have people that are protecting these pedophiles that don't want to out them, that want to get help from their God or whatnot, and think that just more prayer is going to be the answer, when it's not. These people seek out positions of power, not just in like the priesthood, not just in churches and whatnot, but in colleges, in high schools. These people seek out these positions of power, and we don't need to afford these people in positions of power the ability to hide. That's what we need to stop. Hey, Aunt NB. Sorry, I didn't see you. But anyways, that's all for tonight. It's been a kind of a slow few days, so I kind of really had to almost struggle to get something together. But I'm glad that you guys are here with me tonight. Like I said, though, we are going to be playing some Doom here in just about 10 minutes or so over on GE Plays. I hope that you will join us over there, and I hope you guys have a good night. Don't forget, go down below and check my sources. Develop your own opinions, and I hope that you'll leave me a comment with what you think. Also on this channel right here, earlier I posted about my view on third wave feminism as part of the hashtag message to feminists. Yeah, Aunt NB notices that it says boom, and yeah, that's because it's I named it what was it? I have my boomstick or something like that. It's a reference to the Evil Dead and the Army of Darkness, and that's why I have it up there like that. But I hope that you'll join me over there. It looks like Wesley's going to be there. I appreciate everybody being here with me. Don't forget to leave a comment after this posts, and I will see you guys later. Y'all have a nice night.